Well, there's a great country music song that says sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. And in a span of 30 hours, the Jazz went from the bug to the windshield and beat the Houston Rockets 133-125 in their best win of the year. We're talking about it next on POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone. And Ron, really a fascinating game. We do this show for about 10, 12 minutes. And honestly, I really think we could do with solid content tonight, 35, 40 minutes with about different things. I want to start with Scott Morrison, gave us the game plan before the game. And is the number one thing he said was that on the offensive side of the basketball, the Jazz had done a very poor job of recognizing personnel, that they continually tried to attack the Rockets' best defensive players all night, and that they needed to come out and get Reed Sheppard in the post on Lauri and Şengün in space. And that's, I think, when you talk about here, Keyonte the night before and Will Hardy the night before saying we lost the plot. That this was the plot, and they played the plot. And in turn, against the second best defense in the NBA, they had an offensive rating of 126. They usually allow 109. They shot 50% from the floor, 40% from three. They really stayed focused and on that plot all night long.
And that will win a lot of basketball games for you. You put together a game plan that's working, and you stick with it. Now, the big thing here is that whatever player came into the line, came on the floor, they were able to produce in a short period of time, very valuable minutes. Excuse me. And I continue to give, even though Filipowski and some of the other guys came off the bench, I particularly focus in on those three guards with Isaiah Collier, and Clayton came in. He made a big impact, and then obviously Keyonte, he backed things up.
I want to get back to some of that, but I want to go back to what I thought the impact of this was. Reed Sheppard didn't play tonight. Reed Sheppard was not on the floor for much of the night tonight. Reed Sheppard ended up playing 22 minutes tonight. Alperen Şengün plays 38, but he was off the floor on a bunch of possessions, and it forced the Rockets into lineups and groupings that they don't usually play tonight. They didn't have Steven Adams, which was certainly huge, as we negated their offensive rebounding a great deal. But the Jazz ability to exploit their weaknesses made Ime Udoka react to Will Hardy tonight.
Yeah. And what they call that, David, is when a coach has to react to what you're doing. I mean, you countered what they did to you last night. Now Udoka had to make some decisions here in this ball game, and whatever he tried to do didn't work. Now, and you're absolutely right about Sheppard. I mean, how much should we see him in the second half?
Almost none.
Almost nothing, because the Jazz took care of business. I mean,
the second part of the story is the Rockets came in tonight averaging 0.4 points every time they missed a shot this year. So they would miss a shot. You should be at 0 at that point, right? You just missed. Mm-hmm. But they were at 0.4. They get 40% of their offensive rebounds, and then they score at a rate, so they don't actually score that well after their offense. Tonight, they only got 30% of their offensive rebounds in this ball game tonight. That is somewhat because of the fact that Steven Adams didn't play. Let's not estimate what his role is. But their second chance points tonight, they end up with just 20 second chance points, and the Jazz end up with 24. I don't know this, but I'm guessing the Rockets haven't lost the second chance point game many times this year.
Well, and I'm going to, with that, David, the Jazz shoot 50%.
Yeah.
So that means how many offensive rebounds?
Yeah, but it's their misses.
Yeah.
The Rockets missed 42 shots and had 18 offensive rebounds tonight.
Yeah, but that's the point. The Jazz making them take the ball out of the net.
Right. Yeah. Right. So then they're not able to play in transition.
Right.
And then the real thing you're doing there, you're making them play in the half court. They're not very good at it. They miss their shots, and you're not letting them get their rebounds. Now you've exploited their weaknesses, which is that they're not a great half court team. They're not a great shooting team. They stunningly are able to do this in that fashion.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have numbers on that their ability to score off their defense, throughout the year. And I'm sure it's been.
Well, their offense has been so good this year because of that, but they're 22nd in the league after a make, and they're 3rd in the league after a miss. Yeah. Or 22nd in the league after a make, 3rd after a miss. I mean, this is the other thing. The Jazz tonight, defensively, they aren't crazy brilliant. They're a 115, but the Rockets this year came into this game as the number 2 offense in the NBA at a 119. So the Jazz, who have been really the worst defensive team in the NBA for like the last 2 weeks and one of the worst defensive teams in the league for the last 10 games, suddenly tonight held the Rockets below their season average. That's a big-time defensive game, but they did that really because they didn't let the Rockets beat them on the glass.
So the three-point shot did not dictate the ball game here tonight.
No, and it's dictating fewer and fewer games in the league because the possession battle that the Rockets usually win is so much more. But the Rockets tonight, you talk about like just on the simple idea that the Jazz took as many shots as the Rockets. The Rockets are going to lose games where the opponent takes as many shots as they do because they don't shoot very well.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge part of it. Let's go to Walt. We'll go back to Walt Clayton here in just 1 second as the Jazz win it tonight by the final score of 133 to 125. So a really impressive performance. And I think we're calling it without question the best win of the year by the Utah Jazz in this ballgame. Today's show is brought to you in part by Prize Picks for the Utah get into the action with Prize Picks. You can choose more or less on any of two players' projections. Lock in your lineup, lock in, and have some fun of the game. It's simple and fast and available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Extra layer of excitement to your holiday sports by creating a lineup in less than a minute, and the app makes the whole process smooth and easy. The early payout feature is a great bonus when your lineup starts strong, and you may get the only option to cash out early. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 after you play your first $5 lineup. And today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, the NFL season is moving along, and Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not watching the game. You're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets on the action as it unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens, and the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as the game heats up, and you can bet the next touchdown score, drive, result, or more. It's locked in on every snap, drive, or possibility. So if you want to get right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, so can you. Walt Clayton has been in the middle of it, Ron. He has been in the rookie haze, and the rookie haze can be an ugly, ugly place. Coming into this 2-game series against the Rockets, Walt Clayton in 4 games had 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, was 2 for 11, and missed 6 straight shots and was 1 of 9. And tonight, his second quarter was as vital as anything.
Yeah, it really was, and he got the number of minutes there. About 21 minutes on the floor tonight, and they were very productive. I thought he did a great job running the team, pushing the ball up the floor. He got up with 3 3-point shots.
Trying to kill me?
End up making 1, and he's eating cookies or
I don't know what he's eating.
Eclair.
Yeah, let's see. I thought he was trying to feed me nuts and try to kill me.
But he was really steady, and again, I can't compliment the 3 guards that ran the point for the Jazz.
What is it you saw to the 3 of them tonight?
Well, they controlled the basketball game. They pushed the ball up the floor, and that was the reason they were playing with a little more pace, because they were not bringing the ball up the floor, letting the defense get set. They were pushing it up. I really love it when they can push the ball up the floor with pace, a dribble handoff into a pick and roll, or a pick and roll into a dribble handoff. I mean, that just opens things up, makes things a lot easier for Lauri on the weak side of the floor. And I'd love to see them play that way all the time.
The other guy I thought this was a big night for was Kyle Filipowski.
Yeah.
He had a very good second quarter, but in the fourth quarter, the Rockets went after him, and he did not get exposed. We've seen some nights, and there were a few plays, but he dealt with Durant fairly well, and Durant actually was 10 of 25 tonight. I do think, like, Durant is 37. Like, he's not quite MVP Kevin Durant, scoring champion Kevin Durant. He does not, like, it's not quite the same. He was pretty great tonight, 32 points in 12 free throws. But I do think that's a big deal that Kyle Filipowski. It was cool, and Kyle said after the game, well, that was my childhood idol, my favorite player. And you can guess that's the case, right? You're a 7-footer, can handle, you're totally trying to be Kevin Durant. So for him to get to guard him in that setting, pretty cool that he was able to step up to it. But I thought that was an important night for Kyle to be able to defend in those moments, because that's always been the question.
Yeah, and think about the crutch time, the crutch minutes out there on the floor when things were tight. He was on the floor. And so obviously Will had a lot of confidence with him in that situation.
We might have buried the headline here.
The headline, it would be
Keyonte George has the worst game of his NBA career, one of the worst games by any NBA player ever. No points, 8 turnovers, and bounces back with a 29-point night on 14 shot attempts.
Yeah, 8 for 14. He went to the free throw line, 10 for 12.
He also had 8 assists, right,
in 37 minutes.
What did you see out of Key? You've touched on some of it, but maybe more big picture. What does this mean for Key?
It means a lot. I mean, that first bucket meant huge.
He was over. He missed his first 3 shots of the night, by the way. He finishes 8 of 14, but I think he missed his first 3 shots of the night.
And the first bucket was a layup.
Yep.
And once that happened, I think that was in the first quarter. I don't think he scored in the second quarter, but he came on strong in the. No, he did not score in the. Yeah, he did score in the fourth. He scored 11 points in that second quarter. So he's back.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. And last night was unnerving. Like, he lost it. I'm watching some of the replays of his turnovers. I didn't see the ball punch when it happened. I mean, that is a weird play. You are way out of sorts in an NBA game when you take an inbound pass and decide to try to punch it to your teammate and it turns into a turnover. You have lost, as Key said, you have lost the plot at that point in time. That is becoming pretty unnerved. What did you see out of Ace Bailey tonight?
Bailey he's just getting better. You know what I'm liking him? Because he sets up so well to shoot the basketball, and he has a quick release. But he's showing us that he can pass off the dribble. I mean, in a tight window. I mean, sometimes that's risky, but it's like he's reading the defense and getting the basketball to the right people. He ended up with how many assists tonight?
3
assists.
But they're big time.
But they were big assists, and I think one was to Lauri, one was to Filipowski there as well. He is growing right before our eyes, and 19 years old, and he's looking like, okay, do I belong? And we can obviously say yes.
I always try to make sure we mirror the Will Hardy press conference. We're not always right, but I think we've been around enough that we begin to understand some of the stuff. I think Will Hardy is going to shout out Yusuf Nurkic tonight for his performance.
Yeah, I would like to shout it out as well. I mean, he is playing a lot better. I mean, all of his shots and everything comes for the most part in the paint. Every now and then he gets a chance to shoot a 3-point shot, but he's just been steady. Uses that big body. Sometimes he's a little slow getting to things, but it was perfect for him to play against Sengun here tonight, and we'll try to keep him on the floor doing that.
Yeah, they matched him.
Yeah.
Only the second time this year the Rockets have been out-rebounded in a game, according to Tyson Ewing. Lauri and Keyonte, 7th time. They both had 25. Only Luka and Reeves have more. We don't have a third scorer, so that's not entirely surprising. Though tonight we had a lot of contributions, all 5 starters in double figures and 2 bench guys in double figures as well. So a big win, the best win of the year by the Jazz. Jazz notes 2.
Oprah Winfrey, what she says.
Everybody gets toys. Everybody gets toys.
You get a Jazz note in. You get a Jazz note in. You get a Jazz note.
We're going Oprah tonight. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you very much. Locked on Jazz tomorrow.